Hi guys, this is Pedro and
Belinda, and today we're going to be talking about feminine energy, masculine energy.
feminine and masculine energy. I think we said we wanted to talk a little bit about how we ourselves, how we change
As individuals.
as individuals
People change.
and as a couple, how we do things different now that we're each playing our role.
So you have an individual, you have, for lack of a better term, you have a male and female couple. So now you've got people that are evolving and they're changing, right? And then you have a relationship that's evolving and also changing.
Right.
So when it comes to masculine energy, there are roles that I play. Same thing for feminine energy. There's
When I'm in my feminine energy. So I used to be in my masculine energy before. That's who I was.
okay. Can you explain to people what that means?
I don't want to say that it applies to everybody,
No, this applies to
but it
you,
applies to me.
to me, and to our relationship.
Yes. So before, my mindset was I can do it all. I can take care of everything. I do not need anybody. I don't need anyone. I came in here into this world alone. I'm going to leave alone. So I'm going to do everything on my own. And when I say that, I mean taking care of the kids, cooking, cleaning, working, paying bills,
Everything.
everything.
And it's not a I'm in charge kind of thing, right? It's not, okay, you're in charge, you're taking on that role.
No,
It's-
but before it was like, okay, I'm taking on this role, right? So I am in charge.
Yeah.
Everything
right,
is like,
right.
it's it has to be what I want.
And how you want, and
How
when
I
you
want
want.
it, when I want it, because why not if I am already doing all these things, right? But then it doesn't help with your relationship because then we get into why do I need you as a partner
Right.
if I can take care of myself, if I can do it all.
And we're hitting a lot of things, like there's a lot of little topics in there. Like when it goes to you saying, I don't need a man for this if you're already doing these things.
Right.
So just in that alone, como mujer mexicana, nuestros papás, at least my dad, I know my dad taught my sisters that. Te voy a enseñar para que el día de mañana no te atengas a ningún pelado, right?
Right.
You don't need a man for anything. And
Y a mí mi papá me enseñó eso.
Right.
And it's crazy because we talk about this and I tell you, yeah, I remember like my dad would be outside working on a car and he would tell me, look, this is how we do. And I was little.
Yeah.
Así se hace y para que aprendas, para que no te atengas a ningún pelado.
And
It's not a bad thing.
it's not a bad thing.
Porque
look
yo
at it,
puedo escuchar
yeah,
algo malo en un carro and I'm like, oh, it's this.
something's wrong.
Yeah, like, oh, I think it's this, or I think it's, most of the time I'm wrong, but I know that there's something wrong with the car.
Claro, we're talking about feminine energy, masculine energy, and then between both of those, there's something toxic in between, because there's toxic masculinity, which is el hombre manda. There's feminine toxicity, right? Pero I think the narrative needs to be changed, especially as a dad of 3 girls. I'm not going to teach my daughters, te voy a enseñar para que no te atengas de ningún pelado. I'm not going to teach you don't need a man for this. That's why I'm going to teach you. No, you don't need anyone for this, right? Now, we want to build children that are happy and independent and confident, right? More than being confident. But then on top of that, with especially women, you are gentle, delicate creatures. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that as a man, that I take care of my woman.
Right.
That's my job. My job as your partner, as your male partner. And I'm not going to get into specifics of gender fluidity. Not that it doesn't apply. I'm talking about me, myself, as a man, as a father, as a provider. I'm here to take care of you and provide for you, not because you're weak,
Right.
but because you're the prize, you're the goal.
Yes.
You are it.
Right. And I think this is where it changed, because you as a man, if I am the prize, now you want to take care of the
Right.
prize. Your job, now in your brain, I think it becomes my job is to take care of my prize at all times.
Correct.
And I think that's where, and again, it applies to me. Before, my thoughts were completely different. I thought, again, I can do it all.
Yeah.
Now, I can't remember the last time that, and it's basic things, the last time that I opened a door.
That you drove?
I drove last week, but
Well, yeah,
but that's
you're
different.
counting things.
I that's just because I don't like to drive. But like if we go anywhere, I already know that I move to the side so that you can open the door.
Right.
If I'm gonna get out of my car or in your car, whatever it is, I stand for you to open the door.
Right.
It's not like it is not that I can't do it. It's not that I cannot do something for myself. But those are the things that you do for me.
Yeah. And those are, I don't want to get politically correct, because the last thing we want to do is offend people. We don't ever want to offend someone. But
that's what we're talking
But
about.
that's what
Us,
we're-
our relationship,
us.
how we saw that it evolved, it changed for the best compared to your previous relationships, what you went through, what you've learned, because we both come from previous marriages.
Yeah.
Me, what I did in my previous relationship that I think that I could have changed or done different, right? And then we become together, and you always want to be evolving. You want to continue to better yourself. And this is why you go back and you analyze, okay, what didn't I do, or what did I do so that I can fix it? And one of the things that immediately I saw was I was in my masculine energy.
Yeah.
And I was doing everything for my own, on my own, because I wanted to. It wasn't that my partner needed me to do it. It was more of me. That's where I was at. And now I'm soft in my soft feminine energy. I don't take the trash out. I don't open doors. Everything is just calmer, softer, and I just love it.
Well, yeah, there's, going back to not being politically correct, you step back
Right?
and the man steps up.
Right?
We are very big on talking about bringing things back to basic and traditional values and the sense of a home. And even with gay and lesbian couples, even with non-traditional couples or people that don't necessarily want to label themselves anything, when you look at it, there is a masculine and there is a feminine energy. And in the feminine energy, all we're saying is the woman, not that you're doing too much, but you need to be taken care of, because that is the role that as a male, as your partner, should do. When you're walking down the street, I walk on the outside. When you tell me, babe, I would like a cup of water, and we're in bed, it's my job to go get it. It's my job to do those things for you. Not that I do everything for you.
Right. But things like that, like I do things like that for you as well, and for the kids. So I think it's almost like a trade-off.
But-
You have your role and I have my role, and then we meet.
Yeah,
At-
yeah. We talked about the
Right.
triangle, right? You're working your way, I'm working my way, but you also don't yell.
Right.
You don't scream. Not that you don't get mad. You get upset. We get upset. We're human. We're not robots.
I don't think but I think I've always been like that. I don't think I know how to get mad. But even when I'm upset, I don't think I know how to scream. When I get mad with the kids, I am not that, and I remember when I was little, like, your mom is yelling, "Y la vecina," and everybody can hear
Yeah.
you, and I don't think I've ever done that.
So this notion of 50-50 bullshit, right? Well, if you can do it, I can do it. No, it's not. We don't subscribe to that. Why? Because the man's built to be outside. I mean, if you want to cut your yard as a woman, as a married woman, or a woman in a relationship, and you love that, God bless, go do it. But you don't cut the yard,
Right.
you know. It's a man's job. Why? Men are built to be outside, to work with your hands, to bend over, to do things, physically exerting things.
And you know what? I also think that, and we've talked about this before, that men are hunters.
They're hunter-gatherers. Yeah.
Yes. And I think it makes you, the moment that I say, I need this, or I need you, I think you as a man it makes you feel good that your partner needs you.
Right. Can you change a light bulb?
I can change it.
Of course, but
I'm not going to
then you're
do
like, baby.
And
Yeah.
then again, I'm like, well, babe, can you change the light?
Yeah, and
right?
I feel
it's
wanted. I feel needed. I feel
right.
appreciated.
And it's not that I can't do it. It's just that you can do it.
Right.
Because in a relationship, if we go back years and years ago,
to the beginning of time,
right.
to cavemen.
This is what men would do. They would take care of their wife, and the wife would take care of the house.
Right.
And the children. However, times are different, right? I work. I have businesses. I run my businesses. But that doesn't mean that I have to be in my masculine energy at all times. Maybe I have to be in my masculine energy when it comes to my businesses because I have to be in charge of things, right? I'm not running to Pedro to say, hey, can you fix this for me, right?
Right, no.
It is on me, it is my business, right? And I have to figure things out. But when it comes to the relationship, the household, it is a different thing. And I don't figure it out. You figure it out.
Yeah.
I work because we talked about this because I like to work, because I want to work, and because we like expensive things.
Now, switching it a little bit, baby, and that's all true, it's all valid, but switching it a little bit, I think men have forgotten how to be men,
Yes.
and I think women have forgotten how to hold men accountable to be men.
Right?
And you see this at the bar, at the restaurants a lot, where a good-looking guy comes in and there's a beautiful woman at the bar,
and we're talking at the bar. We're looking at the interaction.
And the guy is expecting for the woman to go talk to him and to approach him. And the energy now, or the mindset now, is, girl, go get what you want. I think that's a mistake. Because as a man, you're a hunter-gatherer. You tell me, I want to be chased.
Right?
You want to be pursued.
Right.
So if the woman's doing the pursuing, now look at this. The woman's pursuing the guy at the very beginning of the relationship, right? And now they're 3 months into the relationship, and the woman is constantly going to the guy. The woman is accommodating for the guy. And then the woman gets tired and she's like, I don't know what's wrong with him.
We should put like a little red flag when we post the video. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, so you believe that a rebalance has to happen, and
Right.
women aren't, not that women aren't women anymore, but women aren't in their masculine energy anymore, and men, for a lack of a better term, aren't men anymore.
And I think that's why relationships don't work. I really do think that's why relationships don't work, because if I let you be who you're supposed to be, right? It's within you to
Right.
be a man, because
Yeah.
that's who you are. And you let me be who I'm supposed to be, for us, it works great.
Yeah,
It works great. The balance is there. It doesn't mean that he's more than me, that I'm less than him, that I cannot work, that I cannot do the things that I enjoy doing. It just means that I have someone to fall
right.
on if I need to.
Look at it, and I know people don't like going to the traditional black and white, women are weak, men are strong. Women are not weak, and you're not inferior. God knows women are far more superior creatures than men. But every woman knows this. If you tell your husband to do one thing at a time, he will probably do one thing at a time, because we're very task oriented. You know, well, what's wrong? Well, my stomach hurts. Well, take some medicine, right? No, that's not what that means. That means my stomach hurts. Can you take care of me, right?
Right.
But men, we're so dumb, or we're so focused on other things that we can't multitask. That's why I always forget something at the grocery store, even though it's written down in my phone, because I don't multitask well. And she knows this. We're supposed to take, as men, and I'm speaking for men in general, it is your responsibility, it is my responsibility to take on the hard role. If she's having a bad day, I'm not going to come home and make her day even worse, because you're going to get what you give me. No, on the contrary, because she is soft, I have to be soft, and I have to be strong when I have to be strong. I am here, and I tell you this, I'm here to cater to you. Not because people want to call it pussy whip, es que es mandilón, it's because this and that. No, it's none of that. It's I love you so much that I want to do everything that I can do to possibly please you and make you happy. And in that is doing the hard things that men aren't doing, which means disciplining the kids, which means taking out the trash, which means opening the door, carrying the umbrella, and I can be soaking wet as long as you don't get wet. That's all that matters to me. But I think that there's a disconnect and there's a shift, and part of that, women, I mean, we equally have something to blame for that.
And there's no 50-50.
There is no 50-50.
I think 50-50 is a partnership. As
Yeah.
in,
It's an agreement.
it's an agreement. Why do I need an agreement? And no, I need to be in a relationship with someone, and someone that wants to take care of me.
Yeah. No, and guys say the opposite. Guys say, well, as a single guy, I can keep my own money, and I can do what I want, and I can party, and I can this, and I can that. And truly, you really want to be a 45, 55-year-old single guy still partying and at clubs and doing whatever you want to do?
I think a lot of that, Pedro, is selfish. I think we become selfish in the process because it's hard, right, to make your money. And I get it. I understand. We all have to work for it. And then to think, well, I'm going to work and I'm going to give her my money. I'm going to pay her bills. Like, why? But then it comes with it. You're at peace at home. You have someone that's taking care of your children. And if it's not your wife because she has to work, then you have somebody else, right? But when you come home, you get that peace that you need, that you can't get anywhere else.
That's the other thing is women don't know how to be a man's peace anymore, right? I think women in today's age, it's nagging or it's something negative in the relationship.
But if you would do the things, then I wouldn't nag.
Exactly. So there again, and people don't.
And I was playing with that, but that's typically what I hear from other women.
Yeah, I mean the trash can be overflowing. There should be no damn reason why my wife says, "Take out the trash, bro." Like, what? No lo ves? No, like me as a man, if I know that that's my job, I'm gonna do it before it gets to that point. Now, if you see my pair of shoes on the floor and they bother you, they don't bother me, but they bother you, you're the type of person that you're gonna go pick them up and put them away, and you'll tell me, "Hey, baby, remember, put your shoes away." You know what? Yes, that was my fault. I'm sorry. I didn't do that.
The shoes go in the closet.
Right. And
everything in the house has its space.
Yeah. But there's things that you do, there's things that you don't do, there's things that I do for you. I don't want to make it sound like
there was a TikTok about the towel, right?
Yeah.
And the wife gets mad because the husband always leaves the towel there. And I think it was in the bed or in the couch somewhere.
A wet towel.
A wet towel. And that creates a big problem.
Right.
Because it's there and it bothers her. But our way of thinking, for example, you leave the towel there. I see it every day. I'm going to tell you what I like and what I don't dislike, because in our relationship, there's a lot of communication. We have these conversations, every day. But if I see it there, if we already talked about it, but it's bothering me.
It's not bothering me, but it's
bothering
you.
Me. Honestly. ¿Qué me cuesta? Why is it that I just get the towel, hang the towel. That's all. And you avoid so much.
Right.
So many problems, fights, arguments. But now it's different. If it's the towel, if it's the shoes, if it's the shorts, if it's the plate. Okay, now we have a bigger problem, right? But if it's one thing and it bothers you so much, but you know that thing is going to cause a lot of problems, if it's just that one thing, you pick and choose. Pick your battle. Just pick it up.
But aside from the things that you don't do or you do, as a man, I want to feel like a man. I want to feel taken care of, and you do a very good job of that. And it may be TMI, but we can't be lovers. You can't give yourself to me if you don't feel protected.
Right.
In other words, we can't have good sex. We can't be intimate if you don't feel like a woman, like if you don't feel feminine. And that's, for men, that's big. I mean, if you tell me, you know what, baby, I'm going to give you whatever you want, but I need this whole room painted tomorrow, you better believe I'm on that ladder, right? Because there's an incentive there. And through that incentive, she'll tell me, you know what, I admire you. You know what, it turns me on when you're outside and you come in and you're dirty and you're grimy and you're doing things that a man's supposed to do.
Watch how these messages that
But as a man, those are the things that I like to hear. And
everybody's different.
But not all relationships are like that.
Right, but what you're trying to say with that is praise, right? Like you want to hear, as a man, yes, I'm doing all these things, but you want to be praised.
we want to be praised as a man. We know what feels good. I want to be praised. I want to be desired in the bedroom as well, which you do a good job of that. Guys, I mean, you're good looking and you're all these things. You're a god in your woman's eyes, right? That's the payoff we get for being masculine. At least that's the payoff that I get. I'm not the tallest, I'm not the strongest, I'm not the best looking guy. But when we're intimate, I feel like I'm the only other guy that exists in the world because you make me feel that way, right? But it's true, but we can't, so one comes with the other. Why are you blushing now?
Because it's embarrassing.
No, I think it's, at the end of it all, I mean, we're romantic and we're lovers and we are here for each other when it comes down to the nitty gritty of it. I provide and I take care of, and you administer and you take care of me, you take care of my needs, of our kids' needs. It all comes, full circle. But because you are in your feminine energy, right? On my end, as a man, I have to be in mine. I have to be able to know and read your cues. We have to be on that level. If we're not, it doesn't work.
Right. I think a lot of it has to do with it, going back to the desires, is if I know that I am being taken care of, if I know that you're a good person to me, that you take care of me as a woman, I want to do those things for you, right? Because it feels good compared to if I have a husband that he doesn't want to do anything, he doesn't take care of me.
I did the laundry last week. It's your turn.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, but I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about being with you, I'm being intimate, because you're a fucking asshole. Like,
Yeah.
why? No. But that's why I say it works both ways. If you're in your energy and I am in my energy, and then we both come together, and at the end of the day we both respect each other, right? I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think that's why it's worked very well for us. Now, I'm not saying that you don't help around the house, because that's another thing. Immediately people are going to think, well, if she's in her feminine energy, does that mean that she's doing everything around the house?
Well, and I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but that's the other thing is, men, you don't help with your children, okay? Men, you don't help clean around the house. You don't help with the yard. It's your house. It's your children. It's your responsibility. There's no such thing as me helping with the dishes. I got them dirty. Like, you got them dirty. There's no help. Help insinuates that it's not my responsibility, that it is all your responsibility.
Right.
And that's not true, right? So there's no such, get this bullshit out of here of where it's because he helps me around the house. No, bitch. He's supposed to be doing his part, right? You don't help me, when I ask for a certain thing. When you help someone, that's completely different, right? Because there's somebody that's in need that, no, this is my house. So yeah, I'm gonna wash the dishes. Yes, I'm gonna wash clothes. If I have to wash clothes, there's no helping each other out. These are the things that a man's supposed to do. And where do you think women go wrong? Do you think women don't hold their partner accountable? Do you think that they don't know how to let go and let that energy just, because let's be honest, women, they're a product of nature, so men have helped create that shit. So where do women go wrong, or what do women need to do to fall back into that energy? And what are the things that you've seen? Because none of it's easy.
Right. I think, yeah, none of it is easy, but I think you go back into your energy. And how do you do that? Slowly. I'm changing the way I talk to you. I'm changing the way I talk to my children. My voice is lower. everything that I do it differently. I'm not trying to rush anybody moving, going crazy, because that doesn't help. Now, my tone is always down. What happens to your tone?
It goes up.
But you come down.
It goes up in the sense, I'm loud in general, but...
No, but you come down. What I'm trying to say is, if I yell, you're going to yell.
Right. Women are very powerful, and I told my friend this, that he's going to get married. It's good to have a good woman in your life that sets the pace and sets the tone. What's the saying? If mom's happy, everybody's happy. If mom's not in a good mood, nobody's in a good mood. Because the women do have that power, the cadence to set the tempo in the home. Now, if you're hysterical all the fucking time, guess what's going to happen to everybody else?
Right.
Right? But if I've had a bad day and I come home and you're my peace, and even though you've had a bad day, I can come home and be safe and know that I'm not going to get yelled at. I'm not going to be told, why did you take the trash out? No, it's, fuck, you had a bad day. What's wrong? What's up, baby? And you're there, you're my peace. But women, for some, whatever reason, it's...
Well, I think every relationship is different, but I think it has a lot to do with men not stepping up, men not doing their part. So it gives the woman no choice other than say, well, if he's not going to do it, I'm going to do it. I can take care of my kids.
Right.
I can work. I can clean the house. Yes, I'm tired, but I don't need anybody. I can do it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing, and that's what I'm saying. It just depends. Every relationship is different. But if you're in a relationship, then I set my expectations. And these are my expectations.
So you have a standard.
You have to. You have to. If you do not, then it's never going to work, because the respect is easily going to go out the window. I think at the end of the day, everything that we do, with everything in life, there has to be respect. And I think that having your boundaries of what you're willing to accept from one person and what you're not willing to accept comes to the respect.
And we've said that. The minute that there is no respect in this relationship, it's over.
There's nothing.
There's nothing there.
Right.
So I don't make an excuse for you. If you're a bitch to me, you're a bitch to me. I'm not going to sit back and think, well, maybe it's because she had a bad childhood. No. If the guy's a fucking asshole, he's an asshole, period. There's no excuses. There's no, let me think about it and maybe he was having a bad day. No, bitch. The minute you let your emotions control you as a man, you're flawed. Your emotions, especially as a man, your emotions are not allowed to control you. Who gives a fuck if you had a bad day? Everybody's had a bad day. You leave that bad day outside and you don't bring it inside. My woman should not make an excuse for me, and I should not have to make an excuse your behavior.
Right.
And I think that a lot of women, a lot of people in general, they make excuses for shitty people. And the minute you see that red flag, because that's a big ass fucking red flag, turn around.
I think we all had, and now we're going into a different topic, but I think we've all had good and bad childhood, depends, right?
Yeah.
Your life, and there's things, it's life, it's not going to be perfect. So I think that we've all gone through things in life. But if you already know that you've gone through those things, and if those are the things that are affecting you, then it is on you to fix yourself. It is on you to seek help, to go and say, well, you know what? I am this person because of this, this, and this. What am I going to do to fix myself, for my children, for my family, for myself, right? And that's something that you and I did.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like, okay, we're here, we're perfect, and everything's great. No. You have issues, I have issues. You need to fix your issues.
Yeah.
And I need to fix my issues so that we can become better together.
So you cannot be in your feminine energy with a toxic, broken person.
Well,
It's not going to work.
it's not going to,
Because
that person is always going to not be in that masculine energy. And being in your masculine energy doesn't mean that you're going to be that macho guy.
Yeah, no.
It's really just making sure that your partner feels safe, that you are my safe space.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. If I feel safe, then you're doing your job. And I feel safe.
Right. And all those things intertwine together. The feminine male energy, it has to be a healthy, balanced energy too, right? So there's that. But before we even can get to that, you've got to have an individual you've got to have a partner that's willing to understand that, yeah, man, I'm wrong.
Right.
You
Responsibility.
have to, yeah. You have to have someone that respects boundaries, that you have your own boundaries. Because people don't have boundaries, and I think that's where a lot of the mistake happens in relationships is there's no boundary, and you make an excuse for somebody that treated you bad one time, and then now it's another thing, and now it's another thing, and all of a sudden you draw a boundary, and now you're a piece of shit. So all of those things intertwine together, but again, like you said, you're going up and I'm going up, and we're supposed to meet at the top. And if you're going up and I'm doing all this fucking number over here because I'm trying to figure out my life or my issues, you're never going to be at peace. And we're not perfect. We have arguments, we have disagreements,
Just like anybody
just
else.
like anything else.
And I always tell everybody, like, there's no such thing as perfection.
I don't want to ever portray that shit. And people say that all the time. They're like, if you have to post your love on social media, it's because you're not in love. No, not true. True in some cases, but not true completely. We post a lot. But I've never been one to say my relationship is perfect, because we're not. Now, you're perfect for me. It's very different.
Aw, baby.
But we don't have a perfect relationship. But I'll tell you this much, I've never been happier, and I've never been more at peace.
And I think that's another thing that we both understand. I don't know if this is going to be forever. I hope it is. But we don't know where we're going, right? So we enjoy each day. We're not perfect. But as of now, what we have, how we enjoy each other, we both love it. And this is why we're so happy with each other. Now, maybe right now, everything's great for us. It's our perfection for us.
Right.
You're happy, I'm happy. But that doesn't mean that things cannot change.
Right.
And this is why we work on ourselves and in our relationship daily. Not just when we have problems or when we don't. It's every single day that we have to work on ourselves and our relationship so that we can continue.
Well, and people don't know this, and that's true. People don't know that we spend 23 hours a day together, 22 hours a day. Like, we spend every day together where we don't, I have to go to work, but I'll go show a house and come back in 2 hours. You have to go to work, you have meetings, but we spend a lot of time together. And I think that's a blessing in itself. Going on what you said.
But I think that has helped us.
It has helped us.
To get to know each other more, to understand each other, and I think to grow.
Right.
This is why.
No, and that's true. What you were saying was very true earlier. That we're understanding each other, we're getting to learn, and you have a right to change. I have a right to change. If there's something in the relationship that I don't like, or if there's something in the relationship that I want, fuck not liking. Hey baby, I think we should do this. I should be able to come and tell you all of my desires, my wishes, my fantasies. Not that you have to accommodate,
Right.
but I have to reveal that to you, to be honest with myself. Because what happens is, if I say, you know what, baby, I want to play golf, every Sunday. Well, cool, but that's not going to work. So you reach a compromise, but these are my desires, this is what I want. Now, if I say I want to take up golf and play it full time as a PGA pro, and you know that I lose a sleeve of balls, yeah, not going to happen. But baby, if that's your wish, and you're okay with not working anymore, and you want to pursue that, God bless, go. I may not be here when you get back, but
Right.
go do you.
Right.
We have the right to change, and we talked about this the other day, that people always say it's because couples don't last anymore, because my grandparents' age, they lasted. That's a different topic.
But things were different before, and even if certain people want to accept it or not, there was a lot of infidelity before.
Oh, there was
right?
a lot of toxic abuse.
There was abuse. There was, right, and you were taught that that is the relationship and that's where you need to stay. And women were okay with that. Or even if they were not, women didn't work.
You didn't have a choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't work before you had children, so he still needed to provide for them. So it's just different times.
It's different times.
But now I think that the possibility of so many things in the relationship is there because you're able to communicate. And this is something that before we didn't know. The communication wasn't there.
Right.
And now there's something really big, which is communicating. You can communicate with me everything that is on your mind, and I can communicate with you. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually better for the relationship because we're communicating and we're learning from each other and we're growing.
I mean, how much infidelity would be stopped? How much divorce would be stopped if you communicate at the beginning? And we speak from first-hand knowledge. A marriage counselor that I spoke to, no, I'm lying, I didn't speak to him. I heard the marriage counselor saying, most couples come in at the end. You've had 15, 20 years of this toxic behavior, and now you come to couples counseling at the end, there's nothing I can do for you.
Right.
You know?
So there's nothing wrong with communicating, with
Right.
going to a marriage counselor, even if you don't have problems. And I mean, this is not something that I do. I'm just saying you have to invest in what you love at all times.
Right, you have to.
So you investing by maybe not knowing exactly how to communicate with your partner, right? But then you seek a marriage counselor that's going to help you. You're investing in your relationship in something that you love, right?
Yeah.
You invest in your partner.
Nah, let's just have a baby.
No, that's not going to happen. You invest in your partner,
No, people
right?
say that,
Your partner
yeah.
invests in you, and so on and so forth, and that's how it works.
Yeah, no, you have to invest in the things that you appreciate. Your kids, your marriage, your spouse.
Your business.
Your business. You have to invest. It's going to take money. It takes money. Like some things don't take money, but for the most part, you have to invest. You have to sacrifice to put into it what you want to get out of it. And the communication part of that, though, it has to be healthy. And I think that's why people don't communicate, because the minute that a man breaks down in front of a woman or his woman, it's very vulnerable and they feel scared, or maybe they're ashamed and they can't do it, and vice versa. Same thing for the guy. Just get over it. Like, why are you crying? You're not fat. No. You're perfect. And no, you did not hear what was wrong with your partner's feelings.
Okay.
And you have to be able to tell your partner what you're feeling without being judgmental. And thank God that you and I have that. Because I can come to you with anything. And I'm not going to be scared or, is this a trap?
Me bueno, No, but I think at the end of the day, we have to play our role.
You play your role.
Yeah, everybody has a role, and I think that if we learn that, it helps you.
It does. Well, thank you guys. Hopefully you keep sending us what you want to hear about, but this was feminine and masculine energy. Anything else, Mama?
No, I think that's all. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.